At Thanksgiving dinner, my brother handed me a letter and said, "You're no longer my family," then listed $64,000. It happened between the mashed potatoes and the second pour of wine. My brother Jason stood up from the table, calm, polished, quiet like always, and said, "Before we move on to dessert, I just want to say a few words." I thought he was about to toast our dad's retirement. Or maybe, finally, offer a real apology. You know, for years of judgment, cold shoulders, the looks he gave me any time my life got messy. Instead, he reached into his blazer pocket, pulled out a white envelope, and slid it across the table, to me. I looked around. My daughter Lily froze. My mom went quiet. Even our cousin Chelsea stopped chewing. I picked it up. No name. Just the words, "This is the last thing I'll ever give you." I laughed. I mean, what else do you do when your brother passes you a letter at Thanksgiving like it's a subpoena? "What is this?" I said, trying to lighten the mood. Jason didn't answer. Just nodded toward the envelope like, "Go on." So I opened it. Inside was a printed sheet of paper. No greeting. No warm-up. Just a list. A cold, calculated list. Before we go further, don't forget to like this story, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Line after line, itemized like an invoice. 2018. Private school deposit for Lily. $5,200 2019. Inpatient recovery loan. 30-day program. $13,400 2020. Car repair plus insurance while unemployed. $2,180 2021. Down payment for Tahoe SUV $6,000 2022. Rent support during COVID. $4,500 2022 to 2023. Emergency fund withdrawals. Undocumented. $7,000 miscellaneous, flights, gifts. Hotel stays, utilities, $25,720 total. $64,000. My mouth went dry. At the bottom, in bold, "You are no longer a part of this family." This is not anger. This is closure. I looked up. Jason was already sitting again. Calm. Drinking water like he just made a toast at a wedding. "What the hell is this?" I said, holding the paper like it was on fire. "It's everything I've covered," he said flatly. "And the last thing I'll ever offer." My daughter leaned closer to me. "Mom." My mom finally spoke up. "Jason, this is not the time or place. It's exactly the time," he said. "We've danced around this for years." He looked me in the eye. "You only show up when you need something, Olivia." Everyone stared at me. Chelsea looked away. Lily looked like she was about to cry. I stood up, shaking. "So what? I'm just excommunicated now? Because I wasn't born with a spreadsheet in my heart like you." He didn't even flinch. "No. You're out because I finally did the math on what it costs to keep you close." It felt like the air got sucked out of the room. My hands were shaking. My cheeks were hot. My stomach was ice. I looked around the table, our table, where we'd eaten together for 20 years. Mom said nothing. Dad sipped his wine. Even Lily didn't speak. Just stared at her plate like she was trying to disappear. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about the money. This was a message. He didn't want repayment. He wanted a clean cut. Jason had planned this. Printed it. Folded it. Waited until we were all gathered. Until the turkey was carved. Until I had no chance to defend myself without looking like the unstable one. He'd scripted the whole thing like a damn courtroom scene. And I was the defendant. I walked out. Didn't say a word. Didn't take the letter. Didn't even grab my coat. I left it all, my bag, my pride, my family, sitting at that table like leftovers no one wanted. That night, Lily asked me, "Did you really take all that money?" I told her the truth. Some of it, yeah. Some I don't even remember. But I was never trying to use him. She didn't answer. Just stared at her phone. The next morning, the group chat was silent. No one followed up. No one checked on me. No one said, "That was wrong." The only message that came through? A Venmo request. From Jason. $18.75, your half of the Thanksgiving groceries. I didn't respond to Jason's Venmo request. Not because I couldn't afford the $18, but because if I clicked decline, it would have meant I was still playing his game. And I wasn't. I was done playing. At least, that's what I told myself. The thing about getting excommunicated at Thanksgiving is that you don't really process it all at once. You spend the first 12 hours in shock. Then the next 12 in rage. Then comes the silence. That's when it hits you. He didn't just write me off. He wrote a whole damn narrative and cast himself as the martyr. But by Sunday morning, I was thinking less about the list and more about the things he forgot to mention. Because sure, Jason covered a lot over the years. But he wasn't the only one holding stuff up. I still co-signed Dad's truck when Jason refused to lend his name. I was the backup contact for Mom's insurance. My name was still on the lease for the lake house, the one Jason uses every June to decompress. So if I was really no longer part of this family, then he was going to have to untangle a whole lot more than a dinner bill. Monday morning, I opened my files, pulled up every account, every shared document, every autopay, started taking inventory. Dad's Ford F-150 lease? Still under my name. The emergency dental plan Mom's been using since 2020? Registered to my address. Jason's own lake house rental agreement? Guess who signed as a secondary tenant? Me. He left those out of the letter. Funny how the math works when you're the only one doing the adding. I made some calls. Nothing dramatic. No threats. Just quiet steps. Called the Ford dealership. Told them I was removing my name. They warned me Dad's credit wouldn't support a solo lease. I said that's not my problem. Sent an email to the dental provider. Asked them to remove all secondary users. Messaged the lake house landlord. Let her know my liability ends in 30 days and to please redirect all correspondence to Jason. That last one? It felt good. On Wednesday, Mom called. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. Olivia, I don't know what's going on between you two, but now your father's being told he can't drive his own car? He's embarrassed. Jason said you're retaliating. Retaliating. Like I started this. Like Jason hadn't handed me a letter at Thanksgiving dinner listing me like a damn invoice. I deleted the voicemail. Then Lily texted me. Uncle Jason posted something weird. You might want to see it. I checked. It was a black and white Instagram story. Photo of a paper shredder. Captioned, sometimes the cleanest break comes from cutting ties, not conversations. He really thought he was the victim here. That I'd ruined some sacred dynamic because I didn't just vanish quietly. But here's the thing. Jason may have removed me from the dinner table, but I was still in the foundation. And when you try to cut people off without checking the wiring, things short out. Friday night, I got a call from Chelsea. I'm not picking sides, she said first, the classic family neutral. But you should know Jason's freaking out a little. Why? Because apparently the lake house owner's asking him for double deposit now. I smiled. That's what happens when you evict your cosigner. She paused. Are you okay? No, I said. But I'm thorough. That weekend, I wrote my own list. Not a rebuttal. A reckoning. I titled it, What I Gave Without an Invoice, 2 months of babysitting Lily during Jason's divorce, the $800 in cash I loaned Mom when Jason forgot her birthday, all the times I cleaned up after family dinners because Olivia's not doing anything, the 4-hour drive to pick up Lily when Jason got stuck at work, being the one they called when Dad fell and Jason didn't answer his phone. I didn't put a dollar sign on it. Some debts aren't about money. They're about how much of yourself you've given to people who act like it was nothing. On Sunday, I finally responded to Jason. One line. If I'm out clean. That means you lose the perks too. No sign-off. No apology. Just reality. He didn't reply. But 2 hours later, Lily texted me. He's been pacing the house. I think he's realizing how much you actually did. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. But I did pour a glass of wine and take the longest bath I've had in years. Because sometimes, self-respect doesn't look like revenge. It looks like release. You know what nobody tells you? That when someone cuts you off with a spreadsheet and a cold stare, the people around them don't actually believe it's over. They assume it's just drama. That you'll apologize. That you'll eventually cave, smooth it over, play the role you always did. They don't realize when you're finally done, until you stop answering. And that's when they panic. 3 days after I pulled my name from the lake house lease, I got a text from Dad. Simple. No punctuation. Just, you're making this harder than it needs to be. I stared at it. Didn't respond. An hour later, he sent another. Jason's stressed. Just talk to him. No more power moves. I laughed. Power moves? Like I was staging a coup instead of taking back what was mine. I wanted to text back. Tell your son to shred another family member. Maybe he'll get 2 days of peace out of it. But I didn't. I was done performing. By the weekend, Chelsea reached out again. Are you really not going to Lily's recital next week? She asked me not to come. She's 13. She's confused. She's not the only one. Come anyway. She'll notice if you're not there. She noticed when I was there too and didn't say a word when her uncle exiled me over stuffing and cranberry sauce. Silence. Then, it's different now. It wasn't. It was just more polite manipulation dressed up as family concern. I didn't go to the recital, but I did send Lily flowers. A quiet card. Still proud of you. Love, Mom. No expectations. No strings. Just a reminder, I exist. Even if Jason wants me erased. Monday morning, I got an email from Jason. Subject line, loose ends, the body? I'd appreciate it if you could transfer ownership of the Verizon family plan this week. I'm getting flagged for the outstanding balance. I reread it twice. Same Jason tone. Calm. Cold. No greeting. No emotion. Like we were negotiating a work contract, not untangling 29 years of shared history. I replied, already removed myself. Balance is yours. Then blocked the address. That afternoon, I pulled the trigger on the final piece. The joint credit account. Back when Dad's surgery nearly put him under, I opened it for emergencies. Jason was the only other authorized user. Guess who still had it linked to his utilities? Guess who forgot to check before cutting me off? I shut it down. Issued a final statement. Outstanding balance, $3,219. Guess whose name it was in? Not mine. Later that week, Chelsea sent me a screenshot. Jason had posted on Facebook, sometimes protecting your peace means cutting ties, even when it hurts. Then he dropped a comment under his own post. Some people never say thank you. Just remember who did the work. There it was again. The victim card. Like I hadn't been the one to answer his calls during his second divorce. Like I hadn't picked up Lily from school when he forgot picture day. Like I hadn't walked away from my own job for 2 weeks to help when Mom had her health scare. But sure, I never said thank you. I started going for walks again. Long ones. No music. No distractions. I thought about what Jason's face looked like when he slid that letter across the table. Clean. Smug. Prepared. He thought I'd blow up. He thought I'd scream and confirm every accusation he'd ever implied. Dramatic, unstable, unpredictable Olivia. But I didn't. I just walked. And now? He's the one unraveling. Friday, I got a knock at the door. It was Mom. I didn't invite her in. She stood on the porch with a Tupperware of banana bread and tired eyes. I just want to talk. You were there. You didn't say a word. It wasn't the right time. It was the perfect time. She didn't argue. Just held out the bread. You're still my daughter. But not Jason's sister, right? Don't make this harder. You raised us both. And somehow, I'm the one apologizing for surviving. She set the Tupperware down and walked away. I didn't touch it. The next morning, I threw it out. You can't bake your way out of betrayal. I didn't hear from anyone for 10 days after that. Then Lily texted. He's not doing well. Who? Uncle Jason. Why are you telling me? Because he misses you. Even if he won't say it. That's not missing. That's realizing what it costs to be right. I didn't sleep that night. Not out of guilt, out of grief. Not for what I lost. For what I never had. A brother who stood up for me. A family that asked why instead of how could you. An ounce of loyalty that didn't have strings. By the end of the week, I booked a trip. A cabin outside Denver. No signal. No expectations. Just time. Time to breathe without being compared, corrected, calculated. Time to write. Time to grieve. Time to be. Jason wanted a clean break. So I gave it to him. Now the silence isn't the wound. It's the healing. It starts slowly. A comment here. A side text there. A cousin tagging me in an old Facebook memory like it's some kind of digital olive branch. They can't say sorry. So they say things like, you've changed. You used to be so generous. It's not like you to hold grudges. That's the language of people who've lost control and don't know how to ask for it back. 2 weeks after I pulled out of everything, the lease, the credit, the family plan, I got a message from Jason's ex-wife, Kayla. We hadn't spoken in years. Not since the custody battle. She wrote, hey, I heard things got messy. Just so you know, I always saw what you did for him. For Lily. For everyone. I sat there reading it 3 times over. Then I replied, thank you. No one else has said that. She replied, that's because they only notice you when you stop being useful. That line hit harder than anything Jason ever said. Because it was true. I was only a problem once I stopped saying yes. Back home, silence turned to spin. Mom started telling the extended family that I was having a breakdown. Chelsea texted me screenshots from the group chat. Olivia's isolating. She's always been emotional. We should pray for her. Not, we should call her. Not, we should ask what she needs. Just, whisper prayers and diagnosis by group consensus. I told Chelsea to remove me from the chat. She said, if I do that, they'll come after me next. Exactly. Then Lily called. Not texted. Called. Her voice was quiet. He's different. Jason. Yeah. More angry. Cold. He was always cold. You just handled it better than we do. That made me pause. I'd spent so long absorbing the blast that I never thought about what would happen if I stepped away and let them take it head on. Now they were all standing in the fire I used to put out. That same week, Jason emailed me again. New subject line, clarification. Like we were on a conference call. He wrote, I didn't mean to hurt you. I just needed to set boundaries. You've taken a lot over the years, and I was tired of always being the one who stepped up. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Then wrote back, "You didn't set boundaries. You made a spectacle. You didn't want peace. You wanted power." Then I hit send and immediately archived the thread. Not because I regretted it, because I meant it. But I wasn't going to let it stay open. One day, I passed Dad at the pharmacy. He saw me, nodded. No smile. No words. Just kept walking. He used to hug me. Used to call me kiddo. Now I was an inconvenience in the Tylenol aisle. I went home and cried for the first time in weeks. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just tired tears. Because the hardest part isn't the explosion. It's the quiet after, where the love doesn't come back. Where no one says, "We were wrong." Where you realize you were only ever valuable because of what you did, not who you were. I started journaling again. Page after page. Not for therapy. Not for content. Just to remember. To remember who I was before I was the designated fixer. The backup plan. The babysitter. The name they only used when there was a fire. A week later, Chelsea called. Mom said Jason might lose the lake house. And they want you to talk to the landlord. Maybe fix it. I laughed so hard I almost dropped my phone. Let me get this straight. After being declared non-family, ghosted, guilt, and slandered, you want me to save the vacation home? She was quiet. They're scared. So was I said. For years. No one cared. And I hung up. I'm not cold. I'm not bitter. I'm not holding a grudge. I'm just finally done auditioning for love. They're spinning. Scrambling. They think I'm being dramatic. That I'm punishing everyone. But I'm not doing anything. That's what terrifies them. Because when you stop being useful and don't come back, they have to sit in their own mess. And it's louder than any confrontation I could have planned. You can always tell when regret isn't real. It doesn't sound like I'm sorry. It sounds like, "Can you just come fix it?" And it always shows up late. It started with a text from Jason. Short. No subject. No greeting. Just, "Dad might lose the truck. He's behind. Don't make this harder." Make it harder? I laughed. I wasn't making it harder. I was just gone. And the structure they built on my back was finally collapsing without the one person they thought they could live without. A day later, Mom emailed me. No caps. No warmth. Just guilt disguised as diplomacy. "I know things got messy, but maybe it's time to come home. The family needs healing. Let's start over. Lily misses you." There it was. The only card they had left. Lily. I didn't reply. Instead, I called Lily directly. She answered on the first ring. "You're calling." "Yeah. Does this mean you're coming back?" I took a deep breath. "I never left you. But you left us. They pushed me out, Lily. There's a difference." Silence. Then, "Uncle Jason cried last night." Did he say why? Because everything's falling apart. Not because he regrets it. Not because he was wrong. Just because he's losing control. I sent her a photo. The one from years ago, her in my lap, crayon-stained hands holding a macaroni birthday card she made me when she was 6. I wrote, "You will always be mine, but I am not his to fix anymore." She didn't reply for an hour. Then, "Okay, I love you." That night, Chelsea called. "They're trying to get ahead of it." "You know," spin it back. "Back to what?" "Jason's telling people you're unstable again. That you made all this personal." "It was personal." "Yeah, but he's scared. He thought cutting you off would give him peace. But it just created a gap he can't fill. Let him sit with it. He won't last. That's not my problem anymore." Next day, I got a text from Kayla, Jason's ex. She didn't waste words. "He's losing it. Even Lily sees it. You were the glue. I'm sorry they only noticed after you stopped holding it all together." I replied, "I'm not glue anymore. I'm glass. Clear. Sharp. And not meant to be stepped on again." By the end of that week, they tried one last move. A letter. Mailed. Handwritten. From Jason. 3 pages. No return address. Just, "Olivia, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was overwhelmed. I thought if I just created space, everything would settle. I didn't expect you to walk away from everything. Lily misses you. I miss you. We need you." The last line, "Come home." I folded the letter, set it on the counter, stared at it for an hour. And then I did something that surprised even me. I got in the car, drove 15 minutes to his house. I didn't bring a speech. I didn't bring anger. I brought the letter, and the version of me he thought would never show up again. He opened the door, looked smaller, tired, less smug. "I didn't think you'd come. I didn't come back. I came to say this to your face." I handed him the letter. "You don't miss me. You miss who I used to be, the one who absorbed everything." He looked down. "I made mistakes. You made a list of my flaws and called it an exit strategy. I was trying to set boundaries. You made a scene. You didn't set boundaries. You fired me from the role of your emotional cleanup crew. Silence. Then, I don't know how to fix this. You can't, I said. Some things don't get fixed. They just get remembered differently. I turned to go. He called after me. So that's it. I stopped. You handed me a letter at Thanksgiving. This was mine. Then I left. I didn't cry. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt done. Somewhere between the list he made and the life I rebuilt, I realized he didn't want me to leave. He wanted me to stay small, to keep being the quiet one, the one who took it, the one who kept the house of cards standing. But now, I don't keep anything standing except myself. You don't realize how much noise a family can make until you walk away, and it finally goes quiet. Not the kind of silence that comes from loneliness. The kind that comes from peace. It's been 2 months since the letter. Since the dinner table turned into a courtroom. Since Jason declared I was no longer family. Since I stopped flinching every time my phone lit up. I haven't blocked anyone. I didn't delete old photos. I didn't burn bridges. I just stopped walking back over them. I live differently now. Slower. No more guilt-laced phone calls. No more calendar invites I can't decline. No more babysitting guilt. No more "can you spot me till Friday?" texts. It's quiet in my apartment. Sometimes too quiet. But it's mine. The fridge is full. The bills are paid. By me, for me. I started baking again. Not because anyone asked. Just because I like the way cinnamon makes the whole place feel alive. I take walks. I journal. I read books without glancing at my phone every 5 minutes in case someone needs me. No one does now. And that is freedom. The family hasn't reached out since I showed up at Jason's door and told him the truth. Not really. Chelsea sent a "thinking of you" gif once. Mom liked a post I made about homemade bread. But no more letters. No more apologies that aren't apologies. And you know what? I don't need them anymore. The biggest lie we're told about family is that we owe them everything. We don't. We owe respect to those who give it. Love to those who nurture it. And silence to those who mistake our kindness for weakness. Some people ask me, do you miss them? Yes, but not in the way you'd think. I miss the idea of family. I miss the version of Jason that only existed in my head, the one who saw me, appreciated me, protected me. I miss the version of Mom who stood up for me instead of watching me get dismantled for dessert. But those people weren't real. They were characters I built just to survive the script. Now I've closed the play. Lily still texts me. We talk once a week. No tension. No guilt. Just love, raw, fragile, honest. She told me last week, Uncle Jason's not the same. I told her, neither am I. In a good way? She asked. In a necessary way. She's learning early what I learned late. You can't be loyal to people who treat your presence like an automatic deposit. Last weekend, I drove past the old lake house. Jason's name was scraped off the mailbox. Guess he really did lose it. Part of me wanted to feel bad. But the bigger part? Felt nothing. Because he always thought that place was his escape. He never realized I was the one who kept the roof from caving in. I don't need revenge. I don't need reconciliation. I just need space. And I have it now. I ended my journal this week with a line I want to tattoo on my memory. You don't owe anyone your return, especially the people who never noticed your absence. So no, I won't be at Christmas, or Easter, or the next obligatory birthday dinner where people pretend nothing happened. Let them call me dramatic. Let them call me difficult. Let them say I changed. Because I did. I grew. I woke up. And most importantly, I left. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it too.